Hi everybody, welcome to another Spectrum Economics video. Today we're going to be looking at puzzles again. So this is the fourth video in my puzzle series. We're going to be looking at our sports teams, our football teams, in regards to strategies regarding winning under certain circumstances. And this case for this video we'll be looking at teams that are trailing by a goal with about, I think, 10 to 15 minutes left to play. Let's take a look at our first question here. So there are 15 minutes remaining in a football match. Should a team losing by one goal adopt a more aggressive strategy or remain with their existing strategy? So what we've got down here in this table, we've got the probability of scoring using an aggressive strategy and also a normal strategy. We've also got the probability of conceding more goals as well with an aggressive strategy and also with a normal strategy. So what has been done for this question is we've broken the 15 minutes down into 5-minute intervals. So assuming that you'll either score one goal or no goals within each of the 5-minute intervals. So that will give you an opportunity of scoring a maximum of 3 goals within 15 minutes. You could also score 0 goals if you don't score in any of the 5-minute intervals. And the percentages are the percentages likely to score within each of those 5 minutes. So for example, with an aggressive strategy, there's a 20% chance you'll score within the first 5 minutes, another 20% chance you'll score in the next 5, and another 20% chance you'll score in the final 5. Whereas with normal strategy, there's only a 10% chance. But you also have to bear in mind with the aggressive strategy, though, the chance of conceding more goals is 30% for every 5-minute interval, whereas it's only 10% using the normal strategy. So given these percentages, calculate the probability of winning from being a goal down and also the probability of drawing the game from being a goal down. So what would winning involve? Winning would involve scoring 2 goals within the last 15 minutes and conceding none, or scoring 3 goals in the last 15 minutes and conceding 1. Anything else would either be a draw, where you score 1 goal and concede none, or score 2 goals and concede 1, or score 3 goals and concede 2. Or it would be a loss if you score the same number of goals or even concede more goals than you score. Okay, I suggest you pause the video to work this out. And then we'll go on to our next question and we'll have the answers at the end of the video. On to our second question. This second question is very similar to the first question. So again, we have 50 minutes remaining in the game and the team is trailing by 1 goal. So what's different this time are the probabilities. As you can see, the aggressive strategy now has a 30% chance of scoring in each of the 5-minute intervals and the normal strategy has 20%. So this team is obviously a better goal scoring team, but the chance of conceding goals is also higher as well, so which is 20% with the normal strategy and as high as 50% at each 5-minute interval with the aggressive strategy. So we've given these new numbers, what is the percentage chance of winning or drawing under both strategies, and which strategy would you recommend that this team takes? So I suggest you pause the video for a few minutes to think about it, and then we'll go to the answers in a moment. Let's have a look at the answers to question 1. So we've got here the aggressive strategy and the normal strategy. So the chances of scoring a goal with scoring 0 goals with the aggressive strategy is 51%. So how do we get this number? So there's a 20% chance of scoring a goal in each of the 5-minute intervals. So a probability of not scoring any goals would be 1 minus 20%, which would be 80%, multiplied by another 80% for the second period, and multiplied by a third 80% for that third 5-minute period. You multiply those out, and that gives you approximately 51%. And the same can be said for conceding goals, which I think was a 30% chance you would concede a goal within each 5-minute period. So that would be 1 minus 30% multiplied by 1 minus 30% multiplied by 1 minus 30%. Or basically it's 70% to the power of 3 you could calculate it as. Whereas for the other goals, whereas you're scoring for 1, so you've got to bear in mind that there's 3 ways that could happen. Scoring a goal in the first 5 minutes, scoring a goal in the second 5 minutes, and scoring a goal in the third 5 minutes. So each of those scenarios have to be calculated and added together to give you the probability. And you would use a similar strategy to calculate the number of your probability of scoring 2 and 3 goals. And with the normal strategy, you can see the numbers are quite a bit higher for the low scores because the chances of scoring are considerably lower, and also the chances of conceding are considerably lower. But overall, which is actually the better strategy? So the better strategy would be the strategy that gave you the highest chance of winning, or even the highest chance of drawing, depending on what is required. Whether it's a tournament and you definitely need a win, then you'd be focusing on the win. If it's very early in the tournament, then maybe overall you'd be looking at winning or drawing. So let's have a look what we got here with the aggressive strategy. So you can see there is a 13% chance that you'll score 1 goal and concede no goals. There is a 4% chance you score 2 goals and concede 1 goal. And then there's a 0, I think marginally higher than 0% chance you score 3 goals and concede 2 goals. So those 3 outcomes would result in a draw because you're scoring 1 more goal than you're conceding. Whereas in the green boxes, scoring 2 goals and conceding no goals, that's a 3% chance, and scoring 3 goals, conceding no goals, or scoring 3 goals and conceding 1 goal, are giving you chances moderately above 0%. So it's a very, very low percentage. So most likely if you're going to win, it's going to be through scoring 2 goals and conceding 0 goals. So you can see here, so the probability of winning using this strategy, the aggressive strategy, is only 3%. But the probability of drawing is 17%, so it's a little bit better. So let's go and have a look at what we get with the normal. Like with the aggressive strategy, we've got the green boxes that show the boxes where you get a win. So that would be scoring 2 goals and conceding none, scoring 3, conceding none, and scoring 3, conceding 1. As you can see, the numbers are very low. Again, it seems like scoring 2 goals and conceding 0 is the most likely way of winning, but that's only 2%. But probability of drawing, though, the normal strategy is actually higher. It's 19% compared to just 17% with the aggressive strategy. So you can see in the yellow boxes, we have an 18% chance of scoring 1 goal and conceding none, a 1% chance of scoring 2 and conceding 1, and probably just above 0% chance of scoring 3 and conceding 2. So you add those up, that gives us a 19%. So which strategy is better? This is a very hard one to say outright. If you need a win, then the aggressive strategy is better. If only a draw is required, then the normal strategy might be the better way to go. So it all really depends what is required of that particular game. If you're looking at early in the season and anything, the aggressive strategy may be slightly better, depending on what the point system is for how many points you get for a win, how many points you get for a draw. Let's now have a look at the answers to question 2. So question 2 is very similar to question 1, just we've changed the probabilities of scoring and probabilities of conceding goals with the aggressive and the normal strategy. So how does this affect what decision a coach should make regarding being more aggressive or just keeping the same normal strategy as before? So again, we need to calculate the probability of scoring 0 goals, 1 goal, 2 goals, and 3 goals within that 15-minute period. So for example, you would calculate 1 goal, as I mentioned earlier, by calculating the probability of scoring within one of those 5-minute periods. So for example, you score within the first 5-minute period, that would be a 30% chance, and then there will be a 70% chance in the second and the third period. So you multiply 30 by 70 by 70. You have to do that 3 times because you could also score in the second or in the third period. And then you calculate the score, probably scoring 2 or 3 goals in a similar way. As you can see here, the aggressive strategy results in quite a high chance of goals being scored, either 1 or 2 goals, with a low chance of 3 goals. But the chance of conceding goals is very high. There's only a 13% chance you will not concede any more goals with this aggressive strategy, and a high chance of conceding 1 or 2, 38% chance each, and a 13% chance of actually even conceding 3 goals. How about the normal strategy? So the normal strategy, chances of scoring goals are reasonably slim. It's less than 50% chance, and a 38% chance it will be just the 1 goal. So giving you almost the best case scenario, maybe managing to come away with a draw. But the chance of conceding more goals, though, is also the same and isn't any different, basically. A normal strategy seems to be a reasonably good strategy overall for playing throughout a game. But is it the best strategy when you're trading by a goal in the last 15 minutes? So we'll have a look and see if that's the case. So with the aggressive strategy, it seems like the highest chances of winning would be scoring 2 goals and conceding none, or scoring 3 goals and conceding 1, with almost a highly unlikely scenario where you score 3 goals and concede 0. But adding all that up gives you approximately a 4% chance of winning the game. How about drawing? As you can see from the yellow boxes, it seems like the chance of drawing is going to be either scoring 1 goal and conceding none, or scoring 2 goals and conceding 1, with a slim chance of scoring 3 and conceding 2. That's only about 1%. So you add up the percentages and it gives us approximately a 14% chance of drawing. So this is the aggressive strategy better than the normal strategy. Let's go and have a look, see what the probabilities of winning and drawing now are with our normal strategy. So with the normal strategy, again, look at the green boxes for the win and the yellow boxes for the draw. So it seems like there's a fairly high chance of getting a draw by scoring one goal and conceding none. That's a 20% chance. And there's some very small chances possibly of scoring two and conceding one, and almost no chance of scoring three and conceding two. So that gives us all up about a 23-24% chance of drawing approximately. So which is actually better than the aggressive strategy of looking for a draw. In fact, winning is also more likely as well with this normal strategy adopted, because there's a 5% chance of scoring two goals and conceding none, and scoring three goals, either conceding none or conceding one, adding up to approximately another 1%. So in this case, you can actually see not changing strategy and keeping with the normal strategy rather than going aggressive is actually the better strategy for winning the game and for drawing the game. So again, it all comes down to the teams that are playing. Can a team adapt to be more aggressive without opening themselves up to falling even further behind? And that is something that any manager has to be aware of if they're running a football team. And also, we draw it back to economics as well in terms of strategies relating to anything with regards to business and stuff like that. When should you adopt a more aggressive strategy, and when should you adopt the same strategy as before, even more of a more defensive strategy? And this strategy could change as well, depending what happens as you go further on. So we're looking at 15 minutes from the end of the game. If there was a goal scored, for example, in the first 5 minutes, then there's quite a high possibility that they may adapt back to their normal strategy rather than keeping with the aggressive strategy. That takes us to the end of this video. If you liked it, remember to click the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, remember to hit the subscribe button. I also have a number of other videos, more on theoretical sort of things relating to game theory or cost-benefit analysis. And I've also got my thing now that I'm writing a book on is vegan economics, so that could be quite interesting to some of you as well. So if you are interested in any of this stuff, please hit the subscribe button, and thank you for listening, and hopefully you can hear more of me and I can see more of you. Thank you very much.